All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is April 24th. We actually have a smaller than usual slate in the MLB today, but we're going to jump into each and every game. I'll give you my lean on the total. I'll give you my lean on a side, but my final plays, those will all be in the pinned comment. So make sure to check out the pinned comment throughout the day. Always updated by game time, guys. In terms of yesterday, a lot of picks for a whole lot of nothing. We ended up going 3-3-1, losing a little bit of juice there, but yeah, a lot of volume for just pretty much a 500 type day. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but let's go out there and cash some more slips today. We do have, again, a smaller slip than normal. I think it's about 11 games on the slate today. Usually we're rocking with obviously a 15 game MLB slate. But before we do get into it, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. And I do want to let you guys know about Outlier. You guys see me talk about it in a couple videos here. We have an Outlier play of the day where I'm actually going to dive into the app and show you how easy it is to find and easy it is to use to find a play and everything like that. But Outlier is a way smarter sports betting platform, guys, where you can use this to back your research and look into analytics and all that good stuff, guys. Outlier is an amazing app, and I'm going to show you guys that firsthand at the end of the video. It has become my favorite sports betting research tool, so make sure to check that out. I got a link for that in the description as well as the pinned comment, and we will have, again, a firsthand experience for you guys at the end of the video where we pick our Outlier play of the day. But let's go ahead and jump into the first game here. We got the Guardians taking on the Rockies here. Guardians minus 200 on the money line at home. Total is sitting at 8 runs as of right now. Obviously, I think that the Guardians are the better team here, this Rockies team, and we've accidentally used this pun before, but they are very rocky as of late. They're coming off 3 straight losses. They take the first game against Philly in that 4-game series and then lose the other 3, 4-3, 4-3, and then 9-3. Now, Cleveland also, coming out of their series, they lost their series against Miami, but they did look a little bit better yesterday, winning 7-4. That was one of our wins yesterday. I don't like Cleveland on the money line. Obviously, minus 200's a little bit too much to pay, but I don't hate them with plus money here on the run line. I wish they were getting a little bit more plus money. Looks like the average odds here are plus 105 for their minus 1.5, but I don't mind that play whatsoever. In terms of the total, I'm also going to lean towards the over. I think this one gets up and over, towards 9 and 10 runs. So I'm going to lean towards the over there and Cleveland run line. We have the Orioles taking on the Red Sox here. Orioles minus 101. Actually, I think it says they're underdogs on the graphic. Since then, it's been updated. Minus 101 on the money line at home. They are still the underdogs. Red Sox are minus 109. The total is sitting at 8 runs right now. On the mound for the Orioles, we have Kramer. He's 1-0 with a 6.16 ERA. And then Chris Sale on the mound, 1-1 with an 8 flat ERA. Red Sox have been absolutely up and down. They do have a winning record as of right now after taking 2 of 3 against Milwaukee, in which they were underdogs in all 3 of those games. They covered the run line in the game they lost, and then they won 5-3 in game 1, and then game 3 they won 12-5. Baltimore coming off of, I think they've won 8 of their last 10 games, coming off of 2 series sweeps, albeit a winning, mini winning sweep against the Nationals, only 2 games there, but they haven't lost a series in about 4 series this year, so that does worry me a little bit, but I will say I am going to trust Chris Sale. Even with the year that he's been having, I'm going to trust Chris Sale in this one. I'm going to lean towards the Red Sox here on the money line. In terms of the total, I think this one actually gets into double digits. Neither one of these pitchers really tells me they're going to shut down the other opposing lineup, and both these lineups have been putting up some decent runs game to game. So I'm going to lean towards the over here as well. Red Sox, like we talked about here, 5 runs, 4 runs, 12 runs. Before that series, they had 5, 4, 11. Baltimore, 5, 4, 2, 8, 6. Obviously both these teams are kind of inconsistent, but have the ability to put up runs. All right, moving on, we got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Astros here. Tampa Bay minus 145 on the money line at home. Total sitting at 8.5 as of right now. I like the under right away. We've seen 2 Tampa Bay games go under here as of late. 4-3 and then 4-1 against the White Sox. Those are teams that we could see them tee off against. And then we saw Houston 6-3 and 5-2 in their last 2 games. They have won 4 straight now. Both these teams coming off of a sweep of their series. I will say this Tampa Bay team, I think, is just far better than the Houston Astros as of right now. On the mound for Tampa Bay today, Bradley, who's 2-0 with a 2.6 ERA, and then Urquidy on the mound for the Astros. He's 1-1 with a 3.6 ERA. I'm trusting the pitcher, and I'm trusting the hot team as of right now, the 19-3 Tampa Bay Rays on the money line here. I think you're getting some good value. And then in terms of the total, again, we're looking at 8.5 runs. I've seen plenty of books actually have it at 8, which kind of worries me because I liked the over in this one at 8.5, but now that books are shifting back back down. I think that this one is going to look like somewhat of an under type game. So I'm going to lean towards the under here. I wish that I was looking at the over because that's what I originally thought for this game. But again, books are reacting and we can't just ignore that. All right, Cincinnati is hosting the Texas Rangers here. Cincinnati plus 105 on the money line here at home. Total sitting at 8.5 runs. This Texas team coming off taking 2 of 3 against Oakland, and we can't forget that 18-3 win that they have. Cincinnati has lost 8 of their last 10 games. They just got swept 4 straight games by the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rangers in this one, I'm not exactly sure why this is so low of odds. They're only minus 107 on the money line. I lean very heavy towards the Rangers, but something skeeves me out about that. I don't understand why they would be, not, minus 150 or minus 155. So I'm a little worried about that. I'll be completely honest, but I still do lean Rangers in this one. And then in terms of the total, I do like the under. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to carry their weight. And again, something's worrying me about that line, telling me that Texas isn't going to put up, a bunch of points like they have, a bunch of runs like they have been. Something's a little skeevy about that line. So I'm going to lean Texas, but I'm also going to take a peek at the under. All right, moving on, we got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Chicago White Sox here. Blue Jays 13-9 on the season. White Sox 7-15 on the mound for the Blue Jays. Here's Bassett. He's 2-2 with a 5.4 ERA there. Lance Lynn on the mound for the White Sox yet to get his first win. 0-2 with a 7.5 ERA. In terms of odds, Blue Jays minus 160 here at home. Total sitting at 9 runs. The White Sox coming off of 4 straight losses, and Toronto actually coming off 2 of 3 in terms of their series against New York. I don't mind paying the 160 for Toronto here. I think they're starting to heat up a little bit. Do I wish the odds were a little bit better? Yes, no kidding. But I'm not considering them run line. I'm not that confident in them, so I'm going to kind of exclude that. I like them on the money line here. And then in terms of the total here, we do have 9 runs. Like I said, I think this one is an under, probably sticking right around 8 runs, so very close to that total. Whether or not we pull the trigger for that to become a final play, still yet to be determined, but I do think that this is an under type ball game. All right, we got the Atlanta Braves hosting the Miami Marlins. Braves heavy favorites here, minus 270 at home on the money line. Total sitting at 8 runs here. Strider on the mound for the Braves. He's got a 2.45 ERA, 2-0 record. And then we have Edward Cabrera on the mound for the Marlins, 1-1 with a 4.08 ERA. Marlins coming off of taking 2 of 3 against Cleveland. Now they dropped the last game of the series, and then Atlanta got swept by Houston. So I think Atlanta comes out here and is ready to play some damn baseball. I don't hate them on the run line. Obviously the money line we're not considering, but I will say that run line also is scary too. Minus 1.5 or minus 133 odds against a Miami team that hasn't been all that bad this season. So it's a little worrisome, but I do think this is an Atlanta type ball game. And then in terms of the total, 8 runs, I think this one actually jumps up and over. Next game up, we got Minnesota taking on the Yankees. Minnesota 12-10 on the season. Yankees just 13-9. Brito's on the mound for the Yankees, 2-1 with a 5.4 ERA. Sonny Gray on the mound for the Twins, 2-0 with a sub-1 ERA. Before researching this game this morning, I didn't know that he was pitching that well again. 2-0 with a .82 ERA. The Yankees, like we just talked about with Toronto, they're coming off of losing 2 of 3 in their series. Same thing with Minnesota, shockingly losing 2 of 3 against the Nationals in their series. Minnesota here minus 140 on the money line at home. Total sitting at 8 runs. This Sonny Gray, again, I didn't really know how good he was doing on the season until researching this game. I don't pay attention to that much Twins baseball other than when we're doing research for plays, right? So that kind of threw my head in a whirlwind because I was like, Yankees plus 136 on the money line. That looks good. And then I looked more and more into this game, and I think this is a big time Minnesota Twins game. So I'm going to lean Twins money line. I'm going to fade my original big old gut reaction and trust the numbers here. And then in terms of the total, 8 runs here. I like the under here as well. I think this one sticks around 6 runs, honestly. We've seen these two teams both have a couple big unders as of late, especially on the New York side of things. New York had in their last few games 1-5, 3-2, 1-6, and then Minnesota 3-1, 2-3. They did have a 10-4 game in there where Nationals just kind of played their asses off, but that isn't the norm for them. So I like the under here. Milwaukee taking on Detroit. Milwaukee minus 155 money line here at home. Total sitting at 8.5 runs. Milwaukee losing 2 of 3 to the Red Sox, which again was pretty surprising to me, but I think you are getting good value here on the money line, minus 150. They could easily, if they didn't, I truly believe if they didn't drop 2 of 3 to the Red Sox, they're looking at minus 180 in this series against the Tigers, who, as we know, the Tigers aren't all that great. They're coming off of 4 straight losses here as well. This is a Milwaukee game to me. Easy, done with type of win for them. So minus 155. I'm willing to pay it. I wish that we were getting better odds, but I think we're actually getting good odds compared to what they easily could be. In terms of a total here at 8.5, I like the over, but very, very slightly. I think 9 runs probably is the total in this game, so take that for what it's worth. All right, Los Angeles Angels taking on the Oakland Athletics here. Angels heavy favorites, minus 190 on the money line at home. Total is sitting at 9.5 runs. They're coming off taking 2 of 3 against Kansas City, and Oakland actually stole one against Texas, but still dropped 2 of 3 there. I think that the Oakland Athletics can keep this one fairly close. I think you're getting good odds here in terms of what you're looking at for the run line. Now, does this become a final play? I don't know. It could be a psycho alert alarm type game if we're taking Oakland, who are really just god-awful, but we're taking them on the run line. For minus 118 odds, I don't think that that's all that bad to keep this game close. It's not like I think that this Angels team is going to go out there and just blow a bunch of teams out. We saw very, very close games again. Even the 2 games they won against Kansas City, 2-0, and then 4-3. We really haven't seen this Angels team go out there and say, okay, you know what, we're going to blow you out. Even in some of their bigger wins, like when they played Boston, that seemed like a game they won by a million. The last game, I mean, when Shohei Ohtani pitched, they only won 5-4. So again, I'm not all that worried about this Angels team blowing out the Athletics, which is why we're leaning towards the run line. And then we look at the total here. Again, that is sitting at 9.5 runs, which is a very, very high total, but I still like the over there. Arizona Diamondbacks hosting the Royals here. Diamondbacks minus 120 on the money line at home. Total sitting at 9.5 runs. Henry on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Keller on the mound for the Royals. We just talked about the Royals dropping 2 of 3 against the Angels here. Arizona also dropping 3 of 4 against San Diego. Now, they were heavy underdogs in most of that series. I think they're better than the Royals here, so I think that they come back in a decent way. I think you're getting good odds at minus 120 on the money line, so we're going to lean towards Arizona here. And then in terms of the total, 9.5 runs, this one I literally could, I mean, I know it doesn't work like that, but I think this one could end at like 9.2 runs. So I'm going to lean under, but damn ever so slightly here. And then our last game of the slate before we jump into the outlier play of the day. Make sure to stick around for that. We're looking at the Giants taking on the Cardinals here. Giants minus 1 or plus 110, on the money line at home. Total sitting at 8 runs here. This Cardinals team was very surprising. They did get the win yesterday, but prior to that, they dropped 2 against Seattle. San Francisco actually took 2 of 4 against the Mets, albeit, a 4-game series. They only split it, but they did win the last 2 games here. I kind of went back and forth on this game, and I think that I come out on the side of St. Louis money line, but San Francisco run line. I'm kind of right in the middle there. And then in terms of the total 8 runs, I do like the over. I think this one gets to 9 runs for sure. All right, guys, it's now time to turn our attention to the outlier play of the day. We did just throw out our NBA one too, so make sure you go check that out as well. That's in the NBA video. But you can see at the top right of the screen, we are profitable on the year using outlier. We just started this a couple days back. We're 3-2, plus 0.8 units as of right now. And you can see when you jump into the outlier app or use the web version like I'm using right now, you have all the sportsbook that you can select from: FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, DraftKings, which is great because with one click of a button, after you make a pick, you can go right to that sportsbook, not even have to go type in DraftKings.com or anything like that. Or if you're on the phone, it opens up the app automatically for you to place it, which is really, really cool. But you're gonna see this insights page, which we have been loving here. It's doing all the heavy lifting for you. For example, throwing out plays that are potential plays like this. Nathaniel Lowe has exceeded 0.5 hits in 15 of his last 17 games. You can either make that play right there, and again, this will take you right to, if you want to go and take the better odds here, this will take you right to Caesars. If I was logged in, it moves a little bit faster here, but you can see on the right, I'm not even touching anything, and then boom, this is now ready to go. Now we're not logged in, so we can't place it, but that's super, super simple, right? So let's clear that, but let's also say you can go in. Even if you like a play, you can go and click these graphs here, and you can kind of look in and start to investigate yourself. So he has been killing it. He's hit this in 81% of games this season, only 4 games in which he hasn't hit it. Now we are paying some decent odds, minus 175 over here on DraftKings. Again, you can click that and jump in, but I think that this is a very, very good play. Again, hands up, and it is going in. So all you have to do is end up logging in, and if you are logged in, it's going to be even easier. Throw in your unit, and you can place the bet there. But yeah, guys, see how quick that was? I was just scrolling through here, and I'm looking for a bunch of plays that have a bunch of green dots or green little marks here compared to red, and I'm loving this one. So let's go Nathaniel Lowe. He's going to get a hit today. I'm confident in that. And then there's another one that I found when looking at this earlier. So we're actually gonna have 2 outlier plays of the day today. We're looking at Adolis Garcia here. He's exceeded 0.5 total bases in 4 of his last 5 games on the road, which is good to know, because then when we go in here and look at his season on the total here, he's actually hit this in 60% of games this season. He did it in 69% of games last year. In his last 10 games, he's done it in 70% of games. So I do like to see that, obviously, and we'll see how he bats against left-handed pitchers here as well. 250, 27 home runs, not too bad. So we're gonna go ahead and lock this one in as well. We'll do it over on DraftKings as well. And you can see both of them are still going to be here because we just put this one in, but another one here we could put in whatever your unit size is, and those are going to be our 2 actual outlier plays of the day. We'll not always throw in 2. We did go 2 for 2 yesterday in the NBA. We'll try and go 2 for 2 with these picks in MLB today, guys, but that is as simple as it is for the Outlier app here. So make sure you go check that out. Whoops, we have our NBA scene up there, guys. Make sure to go check that out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I do, again, have an Outlier link in the description and the pinned comment. We'll catch you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out.